Five. Close the door. Go away.
Hello. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Wait. Say hello.
Hello.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
show off your rotten teeth, so-called. She has regularly appeared in the podcast, actually, and she's been one of the most popular things. I think Aurelia and Ben have actually got more positive receptions than I have. It is very embarrassing to my own reputation. All right, I actually have the silly rotation worked out. I'm not quite sure what happened with that. Anyway, we are doing a Vermont sneaky cast. And by sneaky cast, I mean I'm podcasting without telling Needle or Skybolt, and I'm probably going to get in huge trouble for it. I should probably go make sure that the stream is working nicely on the other end, and then we're going to do something really fun. Okay, we're going to do something really fun. I've been planning this for a while now. I just haven't had a chance to do it, which is, so let's just get that sorted. I promise it'll be worth waiting through my rambling. Okay, everything's playing through nicely. And I can hear myself nicely. Cool! I've got this stuck in the... I've got this stuck in between the keys on... And I got friends on the other side. They're watching Princess and the Frog on that side. They've been going through a Disney movie binge. I rewatched Moana recently. That is such a good film. Arguably the most technically impressive animation ever, to be honest. Just from my perspective as a 3D animator or as a beginner 3D animator, liquids are absurdly difficult to process and animate. So to animate and render out the water the way they did is fucking stunning. You didn't see that happen? That did not happen. Shh. Shh. Okay. So, what are we doing in this podcast? Well, see, that's actually quite... There's got to be some way I can prop this. I used to have something that I can prop this on, because I used to prop this onto a pair of glasses, like a little pair of plastic blue glasses. But then my little brother, Ben, you've met him, thought it'd be a really, really great idea to chew on them and put them in his mouth. He's 11, by the way. So that no longer happened. Okay, this should... Is that working? That's kind of working. I need to... Okay. Oh, there we go. Yeah, there we go. I can just stick it on... There we go! Now you can see me nicely. I'm a fancy motherfucker. Right. Okay. Let's... Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay, I'm done joking now. So, what we're doing today is we're going to be doing the... we're going to be looking at a script I wrote, well, set of scripts I wrote back in 2012? 2012-ish. Yes, there's a little red thing in the lower corner. That's just the box that I'm using to prop this up. No, that can't really be fixed. It's my brother's fault. I blame him. So you don't have a teeny bit of background noise. You can hear Princess and the Frog in the background. Probably going to get... This video is probably going to end up getting banned as a result of that or blocked. Anyway, so... I'm just going to go do that so you can see the... So this is my amazing Photoshop skills back in the day of 2012, 2013. Yeah, I was that horrible. And so, yeah, used to organize, where's the... Oh, right, of course, you used to organize productions via Facebook groups originally. Yeah. There we go. There we go. It's back facing me now. There's my narcissism playing up a bit there. So, back in 2012, 2013, I had gone through a really, really dark place in my life, but I pulled myself out of that place by, it was Red vs. Blue Season 10, seeing Rooster Teeth and Bernie Burns and so on was a really, really big inspiration to me in terms of becoming a writer. It was a major reason I chose to become a writer, and here I am now. And the very first thing I did was I tried to write my own machinima, and I took a small peek at the scripts a few days ago, weeks ago, somewhere around there, but that's about it. That's as far as... I haven't taken a meaningful read through through my very first scripts in the 5 to 6 years it's been since I wrote them. So that's what we're doing today. We are going through the scripts of James Vermont's first machinima, and we're going to laugh at him. So, here's the premise. The series was going to be a Halo Reach machinima called Journey, which was meant to take place after the events of Halo 3, with the insurrectionists who had been fighting a war against the UNSC prior to the Covenant's arrival, and they had joined the UNSC during the war, and then after the war they were being executed. And it focuses on a rogue group of Spartans joining the new insurrectionist movement and fighting against the UNSC and trying to take over Reach, which, I mean, looking back at it, there are some very stupid ideas. There are some decent ideas in there. I still like the idea of putting the insurrectionists as the heroes of the story, but I wouldn't have... if I was to retell it now, I wouldn't tell it from the perspective of the Spartans. That seems a bit silly. Can you guys still hear me nicely? Let me just press play and just, I should probably double check, make sure. Let me just press play and just, Okay, cool. I can hear myself nicely. It's really disconcerting to see myself on the screen over here and then look over there and see myself from a few seconds ago. Look, there, I just pointed my finger at the screen. I point my fingers at the screen a lot. So I do this when I'm podcasting as well. When I'm podcasting on... when we're doing the audio-only Break Room podcast. I wave my hands around a lot, but I'm not really as conscious of it. Oh my god, I just noticed I can see, if you look in the back of the... Yeah, if you look in the back of the screen, you can see the Vermont over there, then there's Vermont Shadow, and then there's this Vermont, and then there's Vermont me, and then there's that Vermont over there, because I'm perceiving like 5 of myself. You guys are only perceiving 3 of me, so this is very, very, very weird for me. Also, I need to shave. I really need to. Like, my hair's... I'm thinning back there. It's not... Hey, my ego's fantastic. Is that a... What flew into my tea? I'm ignoring the podcast so I can focus on my tea because my tea's more important than my fans. Just a reminder. I love my tea more than I love you. Okay. It's all clean now. There are 6 people watching this. There are 6 people who have nothing better to do with their time. Why do you have nothing better to do with your time, man? I'm waiting for the dislike to come. Good. So, let's begin. Episode 1, Shards of My Youth. I wrote like 16 episodes, and I'm gonna see we're gonna see how many of them we can get through. Okay. We begin with a character named Ark. And okay, so the screen goes from dark to the grass. The camera moves along with the grass and up the mountain as Ark speaks. Ark. I was a young man once. We are monologuing already. Back when I had my honor and my name meant something. Back when I fought a war worth fighting. Humanity is fantastic at surviving. We put a wall up around ourselves, and when we need men to guard the walls, we create soldiers to protect them. But then those soldiers aren't enough, so they make new soldiers. They break them of all emotion and raw humanity. Is it a weakness to care? So I was actually kind of liking some of the concepts that I was presenting here. I kind of liked the idea of I kind of liked the idea of just the increasing militarization. And then it kind of dropped it. It kind of falters a bit with the, is it a weakness to care? But what happens when we find that humanity? When we find out who we are and what was happening to the people around us? Like at that point, it gets a bit pretentious in my mind. Like I'm trying to tackle too many concepts all at once. I'm trying to follow up the comment section. Oh no, there's Skybolt. No, Skybolt's in the chat. No, he's in the chat and he's watching me. He doesn't realize it's a sneaky cast yet. Nobody tell him. Nobody tell Skybolt that it's a sneaky cast. He's gonna be. Wait, shit! He can hear us. Hang on. There's only one way to communicate with you so that he doesn't hear us. Hang on. It's gonna be worth the wait. Wait, shit, that's good. You guys are seeing that backwards, aren't you? You're seeing that, fuck. You're seeing this backwards. No, you're seeing it the right way around. It looks backwards from my angle. Notice how there's a small bee. Does everyone see the small bee? The Skybolt has a small bee, guys. Okay. That was some... Where was I? Oh, yeah, there we go. There's Skybolt dropping in. Wow, okay, cool. So, we were back at looking at some of Vermont's worst writing. Well, when I say Vermont's worst writing, I mean Vermont's first writing. Wow, I see we have new people joining us. For the sake of context, we're going through the first scripts I ever wrote. I've just moved the camera so I can see the comment section a bit better. We are going through Vermont's very first scripts from 6 years ago and laughing at them. Okay, where were we? I'm going to try and do a little bit of actual analysis along with laughing at them for the sake of, you know, I don't want to be that guy. Okay, so the camera moves over one last rock and reveals Trident Base. The title, Journey, comes up over the base and the screen changes to show the interior of the base. I have used the word base 1, 2, 3 times in a single sentence. This is really, really important. Don't reuse your words in a sentence. It just takes away from the flow. Even if it's action lines, so that's another thing, is I hadn't learned how to write action lines at the time. Your action lines should be short and punchy. But then, of course, as you guys can actually go and ask Daniel Mohan, Scratchy, about this, is that I did not know how to write that kind of thing. I wrote this before I met Scratchy and before I started working at StableTech. I think I was actually still working on this toward the later stage in the post-production process when I was hired by Stapletech. But what Scratch will say is that when I sent my first submission, I was very flowery in my action lining, long paragraphs describing things with lots of metaphor, like I was writing a book, which that's not the point of a script. A script needs to get the pacing of the story out nicely. It needs to reflect in some way the time it takes to tell the story. You know, the standard is generally 1 minute per page, although that tends to be kind of iffy. Like I wrote a script recently that's 7 pages long, but it's only 2.5 minutes when I act it out. But that's because it's 90% dialogue, and the dialogue it's very snappy fucking dialogue. Anyway, two soldiers, the camera moves toward the prison blocks. 2 soldiers escort Ark from his cell. The camera follows them as they lead him into the interrogation room. Inside there, he waits. The camera remains pointed at him, and Pretoria speaks, because I named a character Pretoria for some fucking reason. That was very stupid of me. But also, things like describing the camera movement. Describing the camera movement is not... You don't do that in a script. That's not the script writer's job. If you want to try and sneak it in how you think a certain thing should be shot, you use the way you describe it. So if you wanted to start on like a bear on a table and then pull out to the rest of the room, what you do is you start by just describing the bear, then you describe the things surrounding the bear, and then you describe more and more and more until you have more of a complete picture. And that tells the director that's how you want that done. Skybolt's method is just to put brackets and say note to Kelly, note to Vermont, note to insert person that needs that's directing or editing this. I think this should happen here, which it's fine because in the case of Skybolt, he has a lot of very specific requests in his scripts which really help the overall story, so I am fine with that kind of deal. Also because the rules for audio are different to the rules for visual. Pretoria, you've gotten yourself in a lot of trouble, Spartan. Ark, you. Pretoria, why of course. Who else would it be? Is there anyone else around to clean your mess? Ark, I know your type. You don't want to clean up the mess, you want to make it worse. Pretoria, 'cause you're so great at reading people, aren't you? You thought you could read your best friend and see how far that got you? No, Spartan, I think you have no clue what I want to do. But you will. So foreboding, so much foreshadowing, I assume. Ark, then tell me. Pretoria, no, I think we're going to take turns. You're going to tell me about your little adventures, and I'll tell you my plans for this planet. Deal? Pause. Ark, I was outside New Alexandria. So I'm trying not to analyze line by line as the lines come up, because I want to try and give you some sense of what the pacing was probably going to be, but I will try go back after every scene if I can and just like... So first of all, if you open up a scene and someone says you to a character they recognize, fuck you. If you do that, fuck you. And I did that, so fuck me. That's just lazy screenwriting and just generally bad. Like I've never been particularly happy with my dialogue until recently. I've made a very conscious effort to improve my dialogue, but this is an example of my dialogue when it's just absolutely shite ass. There's no. See, so my dialogue tends to be very much function over form. It gets the job done, but it's not interesting to listen to. Which, you know, in something like Terminal Secrets, the story, I think that Terminal Secrets, I write very strong characters and very strong scenarios, and you stick with it for that. But listening to the characters speak specifically is not always the best experience. You'll find better dialogue in the scripts that I didn't write, like in Dose and Hunger on the Confessions of a Wasteland Pony script. I think there are small exceptions here and there. The Aria Moon monologue, very specifically, was a verbally described piece that went very well, but it had style as well as its form, as well as its substance. But there are exceptions, and this is an example of just, it's a lot of foreboding exposition, because the story opens up, and it's coming back to me now, the story opened up on a flash forward with the season, this whole season, these 16 episodes. There were, there's the present day's timeline and the past day timeline, so that kind of, this was just a lot of needless foreshadowing as to what the rest of the season was going to be, and it just does not work. Anyway, I've rambled long enough. Scene 1, map is boardwalk. The camera pans across different shots of the map. In the background, you can see Sunset patrolling the walkways. I had a character called Sunset. Part of me really, really wants part of me would really hope that was a reference to Sunset Shimmer, but I'm not sure if Sunset Shimmer had existed in the fandom at that point. It was probably just a random character name. But we're going to pretend that this character is Sunset Shimmer, okay? Cool? Cool. The camera pans across the different shots of the map. In the background, we see Shimmy patrolling the walkways. It changes to a slow zooming shot of the interior. Ark, younger, is looking at something on a table, and Sunset approaches him. Shimmy. Sir, I've completed reconnaissance of the area. Ark, what did you find? Sun, nothing. Ark, nothing? Sun, no sir, no UNSC forces in the area. Ark turns around and faces Sun. He walks past him, and outside, Sun follows him. Oh, he walks past him and then goes outside. Sun follows him. He talks as he walks. Ark, good, we've shaken them. Sun, do you really think so? Seems like they would put more effort into catching us than they did. The camera takes the shot from upwards and begins to zoom outwards. I guess we're not the only ones they're after. Okay, I've got to say, my description of the camera work, I don't know how anyone other than me at the time would have been able to understand what the fuck that was about, because I don't understand half the shots I'm describing. Like one, best each and every day, good things are sure to come your way. What you give is what you get, my dad said that you'll never forget, and I remember to you when we're human, and we're gonna be do-do-do-do-do-do, live the high life. Sorry, the musical number, Disney musical numbers, I would fail at the Disney listen to and try not to sing things, so while they watch this film, I guess you're just gonna have to deal with me occasionally bursting into song. Anyway, scene 2. Map is the weird hospital place. Oh, let me just take a peek into the comments section. Okay, stop robbing the small bee, Vermont. Okay, creepy. Crack says yo. Wendy says too many times. Wendy says this is why we have editors. Wendy says obvious romance is obvious. Which romance are you talking about? Who has a romance? Tell me. Skybold's being nice about the Aria Moon monologue. Yay! So is Chaos and so is Wendy. Yay! And then there's Krelak being confused in the comment section. For the sake of this Krelak, this was a Halo Reach machinima, so the UNSC, like, you know, the army dudes in Halo Reach. Anyway, cool. Scene 2. Map is the weird hospital place. Very professional of me, Vermont. Very professional. Sorry. I just saw Wendy's thing about the interrogation sounded like the setup for a love-hate romance. There was not going to be a romance between those two characters. I did not write... No, those two characters were not going to be in a relationship together. That was not a part of the plan. Go away. Three guards stand atop the lift area. Other guards patrol the surroundings. The camera follows them as they walk past Audi, who is crouched behind a pillar. Audi, are you sure about this? Pause. Audi, yeah, I see him, but I'm gonna have to do this quietly. Pause. Audi, over and out. Audi pauses and guard walks out and past him. Audi kills him and runs off camera, just very abrupt. Audi kills him. Fine. The camera then follows him up as he heads toward an elevator, meleeing and assassinating guards because... I'm not going to dissect every line. I can't dissect every line. We'll be here all night. Audi goes up to the elevator where he gets to the top. Hatter and three guards are waiting for him. Hatter. Well, hello there, Mr. Funnyhead. Yes, Audi like the car chaos. Audi. Hatter. Always a pleasure. So, what, you guys here for guard duty? They are. They're here for you. In case you didn't wonder. See, this is... Only some of you are going to get this. Only some of you are going to get this joke. So, a certain character in an upcoming East Corp series has a lot and found his roots in Hatter. Some of you will get the joke, some of you won't. Some of you might get the... If you go watch that certain East Corp series once it releases, and then come back and watch this, then you'll get the joke. Anyway, Audi, I didn't think you cared so much. Yes, it is. Hatter. Well, how about I pretend I care and just blow you up? He fires the shot, and Audi steps backward off the elevator. Hang on, I just need to do the math. So I'm thinking it was like he's standing on here and the shot comes towards him like, and then he jumps off and then it goes like over him. Still can't hit me, asshole. I'm gonna do voices for this now. So Audi's gonna have the super British and whatever. Hatter. I swear to God, I'm gonna blow you up, die, 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 die. Stop running out of bullets. I assume his gun runs out of bullets. Audi crouching behind the wall and throwing a grenade at Hatter. Did anyone ever tell you you're bat crap insane? Your mother used to tell me all the time. Jesus Christ, that's horrible writing. What the fuck is wrong with me? Audi, he rushes up to find Audi, but Audi's no longer there. God damn it. A soldier arrives. Soldier. Should we pursue? Hatter. Nope, he's gone. But, sir, he's literally in the elevator. Hatter shoots him. Stop making your words with your mouth and call the boss man. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, I'll try not to blaspheme, but... Wow, okay, we're on scene 3. We are only on scene 3. How long is the script? The camera map is only sword based. Camera shows more damaged areas of the map, and then it shows a firing squad who are armed with sniper rifles. In their line of fire is Jace. The camera is positioned just behind and a little above his head, so like there, I assume, and facing toward them. The executioner reads out his crimes. You have been found guilty of aiding insurrection. I have been found guilty of protecting our soldiers. That I'm trying to do an American accent. You all just have to fucking deal with it. You turned on your own team. The executioner was a very, very grim, dark, edgy character. I mean, his name was the Executioner. What the fuck did you expect? You turned on your own team. My own teammates were killing friendly soldiers. They were punishing insurrectionists for their crimes at the Order of Oni. They weren't insurrection anymore. They fought with us. They helped us. And does that absolve them of the crimes, of the countless deaths they caused? Oni can't punish them for war crimes when Oni is guilty of war crimes themselves. You watch your tone, boy. Or what? Are they sentenced to death already? Yes. Yes, you are. Ready? Aim. Too bad I have my own plans. This is not even sure where this accent is going in the direction of. At this point, Ghost, because we had a character named Ghost. We were that cliched. At this point, Ghost comes out of cloaking in front of Chase. Fire! As they that was the executioner, that wasn't Ghost. Ghost's a chick. As they shoot, Ghost throws down a domed energy shield, stopping the sniper fire from touching them. You're late, Ghost. I was making dramatic entrance. It's all about the timing. Is that what a woman sounds like? I wouldn't know. It's been a very, very long time. Hey, the sarcastic jokes are my bit. Since when? Sorry? What the hell? Jace, can I have my shield enhancement back? Ghost, if we get out of here alive, sure thing. I'm not gonna do the girl voice anymore. That's kind of immature. I'll think of something better. So, do you have a plan? I'm working on it. Yeah, there we go. That's better. That's a lot less childish. The shield's about to go down. Let's work on it somewhere else. The two of them go toward a vent and up it. They climb up the vent. You know, they John McClane that shit. They hide behind a corner, reloading their weapons. Okay, we're somewhere else. What's the plan? We need to get out. That's a given. How? Pause. Oh, God, no. The window. Yes, I'm doing No, this is Mickey Mouse. Oh! This is Mickey Mouse. This is the Mickey Mouse voice, I assume. Oh! I'd actually like to hear Skybolt's interpretation of the Mickey Mouse voice. That'd be kind of funny. The window. Okay, now it has morphed into full-on Mickey Mouse. Fuck you, Wendy. Jay stands up in exasperation and stands up. Why did I write that twice? Of course, Skybolt does a great Mickey Mouse. Race you. He sprints out from cover. Ghost, jokingly. God damn it, Jace. Wow! There's a lot of pointless dialogue in this script. I'm very embarrassed for myself. Did he do it on the podcast? I can't remember Skybolt doing his Mickey Mouse voice on the podcast before. Well, I think we're doing a podcast later this week, so we'll get Skybolt to do his Mickey Mouse voice then. I'm imagining Skybolt's interpretation of Mickey Mouse is going to be something along these lines. Oh, bend over, Mr. Johnson. Ryan Johnson, bend over. Oh, now I want you to take Star Wars. I want you to take Star Wars, and I want you to make it really, really cool. I want you to make the new episode of Star Wars really, really good. Oh, but I want you to do it in a way that Skybolt's gonna hate it. Oh, that's what I think. I'm just waiting to see Skybolt's response. Mr. Hanky plus Mickey from the South Park episode. Yeah, that's... I will admit that The Last Jedi had several many glaring issues, but I still enjoyed it. But also, it had many issues. I mean, yeah. I assume in the next podcast that Skybolt and I are going to end up talking about the new episode of RWBY, considering the season's over. We should probably talk about that. Needle's going to be pissed. Is that a... What is that? Oh, it's just a piece of hair. It's freaking bugging me. Is it gone? Yeah, it's gone. The camera shows several dead... Okay, so we're in a sword base. I think there must be a time skip. I think there's a time skip. The camera shows off several of the dead bodies in different areas. It then switches to show the back view of the executioner. Two other Spartans walk into view. One of them is King, the executioner's second in command. The other one is a random soldier. I actually wrote those words. Report. Soldier. 7 dead, 4 wounded. Don't waste my time counting dead. Did you catch the rogues? No, sir. Then why are you here? To report the... I told you not to waste my time. Strip the dead of their armor. Bring in the new soldiers and find those rogues. What about the dead? What did I just say? Strip their armor and bring in their replacements. As for the bodies, throw them in a ditch. I don't care. Wow, he's edgy. Oh my God. What did I just say? Strip their armor, bring in the replacements, and throw the bodies in a ditch. I don't care. I mean, that is impressively edgy. This character... Oh, I recall being really, really proud of him when I was younger. I remember being really, really proud of the Executioner when I was younger. Maybe he gets more development later on. I can't really remember. But at this point in the story, he does not have... So, okay, so how old was I? I wrote this 6 years ago, and I am currently... I'm 22 at the moment, so I was 16 at the time, so... I mean, okay, fine, yeah, 16-year-old drama, poetry student... that sounds more like... I suppose that actually does kind of fit the MO in my mind. No. I'm currently 22. I was 16 then. I think you just misunderstood me, Wendy. Just in case she misunderstood me. I think she misunderstood me. Anyway, the soldier leaves. King. What voice am I going to do for King? So we've got a character named King. What voice should I do for King? Sir. Okay, there we go. Sir. Did you identify the other rogues? Yes, sir. Spartan, Jace, and Ghost were here. We were attacked by a Spartan inside the city. What accent is that? I was going for Scottish, but it's not. It doesn't sound Scottish to me. Yes, sir. Spartan, Jace, and Ghost here. We were attacked by a Spartan inside the city. Hatter reports it was Audi, and there is no sign of the other two traitors, but we believe it to be the Spartans Sunset and Ark. Jason, are you sure? Sir? I want you to hunt them down. I want you to kill them. I've noticed that I'm not doing this on purpose. Every time I do the Executioner voice, I lean back when I do his voice. That's not on purpose. Sir, our orders are to bring them in for trial and... I want you to hunt them down. And I want you to kill them. Okay, so he's now... So fuck due process, apparently. See, this is what happened... I find it interesting that that the first time I wrote a script, I immediately jumped into something that involved a lot of action and a lot of hunt them down and kill them type deals. Whereas, where I ended up going was more... Where the hell did I end up going again? Where am I now? What has my life become? No, seriously, tell me what has my life become? So where I ended up going was more character-based drama. People arguing in rooms together. And talking about their feelings and debating philosophical views. Violence very, very rarely breaks out in Terminal Secrets. Our hero, the bureaucrat, is essentially just me monologuing into a recording device. I mean, that last episode, Kick the Wall. No, was it Kick the Wall? No, it was Fall of the Pipe Dream. It was a 20-minute episode, but like 15 minutes of it was just me improving. There was a point to me bringing all this up. Yes, it was the fact that they're all, the stories are all just have become, a lot of the stories I write these days are more just people talking about shit and philosophizing. Wait, philosophizing? Philosophizing? No, philosophizing. Saying smart shit. I feel stupid now. It's just interesting that the first time I wrote a script I chose to take on action. That would be, my recommendation is that if you find yourself starting off writing a script, don't start with action, just start with something simple. I would actually also recommend starting with one-shots, or do something like Our Hero the Bureaucrat, where you can make it very easily, but you can pump it out really quickly, and you can pump out a lot of it. That's just like if you're starting out thing, just regularity kind of helps with certain things. I know our fandom, our East Corp fan base has tended to express more that they prefer. Well, you prefer the larger chunks of content, like bigger content releases over a longer period of time. You're happy to wait more for the better content, although despite that I still continue to do Our Hero the Bureaucrat, which is probably why I get so few views. There's like hardcore East Corp groupies listen to that. That's about it. How many scenes are there with the execution, and how long can you keep doing the voice? Because damn, it must be hard for your throat. That's my secret, Chaos. I'm always hard. I should write more scripts for myself, but 99% is what I do is prose. Nah, transition is rough. Yes, the transition from prose to screenplay is really, really rough. I don't write prose I avoid prose as much as I can because I cannot write prose to save my life. I don't like doing descriptions of locations, actions, and I prefer to have my short bullet points and then create the visuals later, or in the case of audio drama, have to create no visuals. It's wonderful like that. But see, I'm not. That's just why I'm not a fan of the. I don't like going into all that detail. So that's one of the reasons I transitioned into. It's one of the reasons I transitioned into script writing instead of, because I wrote a lot of books, well, tried to write a lot of books before I wrote the script, actually, but it was script writing that, this was the furthest I'd ever gotten in a project. I mean, I wrote 16 episodes of this. Scene 5. Map is Boardwalk. Ark and Sunset are on a platform. We finally cycled back to them. Let's introduced a lot of characters. Let's see if we can recap and remember everyone. So there's Pretoria and Ark in the present day. There's the flashback with Ark and Sunset. There's the flashback, and the flashback sort of continues on with Jason, Ghost, the Executioner, and King, and Aldi and Hatter. So that's Pretoria, Ark, Sunset, Jace, Ghost, the Executioner, King, Aldi, and Hatter. That's 9 major characters. That is 9 protagonists in one episode. The fuck was I thinking? I mean, I probably shouldn't joke about that too much. Untypical's major cast is quite large. It's close to that. But I've also been writing for 6 years longer than I was at the time, and also this script is about to be over, and I think it's like a 10-minute script, whereas Untypical, my most recent estimate puts Untypical's first episode at about an hour, so that's the same amount of characters introduced by a more experienced writer over quite literally 6 times the duration. Anyway, Ark and Sunday are on the platform. They look out to the city. The shot is behind them, and it slowly goes toward them, then straight past them. Okay, so yeah, pulls past them. It goes dark and shows a front view of them. They haven't moved. Do you think about it often? What? I'm just going to use my own voice for Ark because I was going to voice him myself. Sunset turns and looks at him. The shot is a medium, so they're both visible. The Spire. I know who you are, sir. I recognize your armor. I recognize your name. I don't. You led the attack on one of the Covenant spires. I mean, I wasn't alone. I've heard the stories. The forming of Crucible Team. The insurrection. That was years ago, and it was one fight. And yet you are remembered as the man who made peace with traitors. You fought side by side with men who you were trained to kill. Wow, okay, so I'm writing a lot of compliments about a character that I played. Kind of feels like I was digging into my own ego a teeny bit there. Not everyone remembers that story with a smile on their lips, Sunset. Most people hated the insurrection, as you may have noticed. Most people still do. Is that why you did it? Is that why you saved them this morning? I believe in second chances. I believe we can make amends. Can we make amends? I don't know. I really don't know. Okay, so apparently in the comments section, because we had everyone gave comments in the under the script, all the various members of the cast and crew, and one of the first things that I said was the executioner's name is due to be changed soon. His name never got changed. All right, okay, that was episode 1. You got on your finger, we don't care, we don't care. Don't matter what you look like, don't even matter what you are. A dog, a kid, and a pig. And they all knew what they wanted me to do. I told them what they needed, just like I tell you. You gotta take a little deeper. Yeah, dig a little deeper. And that far. When you find that blue, you find out what you need. Blue skies and sunshine like me. Yeah, you gotta dig. Need a rich little boy. You wanna get rich, you can. Did it make it happen? Okay, I'm gonna stop. Spontaneous. Family through and through. You your daddy's daughter, but he had in him, you got in you. Me home free. Okay, we're gonna pretend that didn't happen. As far as I know, that was the last song of the movie, so. Oh my god. This is what happens when MLP logic seeps into life. Someone needs to make a gif of this. That did not happen. I'm deleting this video after this live stream is done. Where was I? Oh, episode 2. How many episodes did I actually make of this? How many episodes did I script? 14. Okay, so 14 episodes. Episode 2. Chess. I'm still... So, I've always prided myself, and it kind of comes through in here, is I've always been a big fan of episode titles. I've always been I won't actually delete this video. If you want to make a gif of that, go for it. Since I see people threatening. Oh shit, if I do that, and then look at the... Just gotta wait for the stream to catch up. Come on, stream, catch up, there we go. Yeah, there we go, I can see my own bald spot. Because the camera's over there, and if I put my head at the camera, I can see my own bald spot. Okay, cool. So I've always been prided myself. I'm just going to completely ignore the fact that I just said that. And I've always been kind of happy with the episode titles that I've come through. It's not that big, it's true, Chaos, but I'm only 22. It's probably because I keep shaving my hair off. Yeah, but still. I've always been kind of proud of how my episode titles. I've always wanted my episode titles to tell a story. Your episode title is as much a part of your story as the script inside of it. A really, really good example of this is Breaking Bad. They do a fantastic job with their episode titles. One of the most fantastic of those is Ozymandias, which was the episode that Rian Johnson directed. But obviously the greatness of that episode actually comes from the writer, Moira Wally Beckett. But what's fantastic about the episode is that you never see the title of Ozymandias. They never mention the poem within the story itself. They never say the words Ozymandias. But if you go and research what the poem is, and you go into the episode knowing what the poem is, it adds more context to what it is, because Ozymandias is a story about a traveler who goes to... A traveler finds a broken statue, and at the bottom of the statue is a little plaque that says, "My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look upon my works, ye mighty in despair." And there's this certain hilarity at the fact that the man who called himself the King of Kings had his name inscribed on the statue that had fallen apart and broken with time. So it's about the decay and the fall of empires, and that matches with the subject matter of what that episode was about. So I've always had a fascination with episode titles. Our Hero the Bureaucrat, if it does one thing right, I think it's the episode titles. I think the most boring episode title that I've had so far is episode 3, Mist. But then you've got the rest of the episodes, which you've got. Did we skip a step? The last part was a flash forward. Kick the wall. Fall of the pipe dream. There was another. Reuse, reduce, so yeah, I've always been a big fan of good episode titles. Terminal Secret very much has the same. Skybolt has done a very good job in keeping with giving great episode titles. All of his episode titles actually follow a pattern. They're all one word, and they're all in caps, and they're all very ominous. Dose, hunger, awake. And what I find fantastic about those is those raise so many questions on what is the episode going to be about. Especially hunger and awake are especially those raise a lot of questions, because with Dose you didn't know what Terminal Secrets was yet. You didn't have enough experience to see. With Hunger, it was like, oh shit, we saw what Skybolt did with his last episode. What's this one gonna be? With Awake, that you guys haven't seen yet. You don't know what the story's about, but you've seen enough Skybolt stories to know that it's, to have a kind of idea that he wants to fuck some shit up. He wants to fuck with your emotions, and it's probably going to be as ominous as you think it is. But it also just leaves a lot of connotations. With my own episode titles, there's also that kind of... so I only titled 2 episodes for the series, because episode 4 was Tintment, which Mohan Scratchy, he named that episode because he was the writer of the primary story on that, and that Tintment was reflective of the tone. It's the least ominous and the most quirky title to match the fact that the character of Mint Cream is very much this reprieve from how dark the rest of that episode is, because the rest of that episode is fucked up. That is a fucked up episode. We introduced Dr. Fractal, we set spare parts on fire. Now, that was a fucked up episode. Blue Ball had his blue balls alleviated. That shit should never happen in real life. That is against the Geneva fucking Convention. And Terminal Secrets Episode 2, that was what, 537, which was an allusion to the amount of ponies that Butterfly had killed. And then, because I had to top everyone with grimdark, depressing titles, the episode 6 of Terminal Secrets is called Kill the World, which, yeah, I mean, that's fairly dark and depressing. So I think I'm kind of interested to see in 6 years' time, will I come back and look at that and will I look on Kill the World the same way I'm looking at The Executioner now, as trying to be too edgy with not enough skill and experience? I mean, we'll find out. It's definitely going to be a tough discussion, but we'll find out. Anyway, episode 2, chess. Are people still watching? There are 8 people watching this. Wow. Damn, dude. I'm kind of amazed you're all still there. Once again, the screen remains black, and the voices of Ark and Pretoria are heard. You know, when things went wrong, somehow guns and weapons never really solved the problem. Well, we both know that's a lie. Is it? The camera fades. It's in to show shots of Ark. So montage to show Ark and the Executioner fighting aliens together. People holding the guns solved the problem. The people holding the guns solved the problem. And when things went to hell, I would say a few words, string a speech together, and you'd get your victory. So you were the nice leader. I think it's your turn to clue me in on some information. Oh, is it? The camera returns to Ark and Pretoria in the interrogation room. Yeah, what are you looking for? You've been gathering support all over Reach. Some of the other colonies are whispering rebellion. Yeah, open war is coming. Oh, and this time you get to play the role of the villain. We've barely recovered from the Covenant invasion, and you've decided to throw us into yet another conflict. Who is really the villain? I'm getting into this now. You are. And the people are tired of secrets and lies. They don't want your dirty dealings. They don't want your scapegoats and excuses. Wow! They don't want the script. This was definitely the writing of someone who didn't have a full grasp of politics. I mean, a lot of what Ark is saying is just your boilerplate, I'm against the government kind of deal. And it's, I mean, I can tell from reading this that I, as the writer, did not research a lot, that I did not do enough research to justify this, to justify a lot of these comments, or I would have discussed it a little bit better. Your rebellion is gaining strength, but its end has finally come, and you're going to stop it? Oh no, you are. And how do you plan to do that? You'll find I'm very creative. Okay, I'm kind of, had this gone to air, I could kind of see people starting to ship that. I mean, that was not intentional, but I can kind of see it. Scene 2. Arkham Sunset. I don't think we should stay here much longer, Sunset. We could have moved on at any point, sir. Why didn't we move out then? I don't know. I guess I just needed some time to think on my own. You're not exactly on your own. Yeah, I noticed. Alright, let me ask you a question. Shoot. I tried getting off the ship. I was going rogue and attacking UNSC soldiers. And what do you want to know? Why didn't you attack me? Hell, why did you even come with me? Maybe I was planning on leaving anyway. That's not very... You're a Spartan. Spartans don't go AWOL. You'll want to talk. Yeah, but you have your reasons, and I have mine. I guess that's fair enough. Should I go get our weapons ready? Actually, yeah. Go find the weapons and the ammo that we're going to need. Make sure there's not so much to slow us down. Alright. While I'm at it, you can have some of that alone time you've been after. Okay, so it's like... I need to put my phone on charge. So, that's slightly better than the writing of the previous... It's slightly better than the writing that we saw in the first episode. I mean, I'm not going to say I was an absolutely horrific writer, because if I was always a horrific writer, I'd be pretty doomed now. Although, writing is something you practice. It's a skill just like everything else. But yeah, once again, there are a few... I wouldn't say there are good ideas being discussed in this scene. There aren't any ideas being discussed in this scene whatsoever. This is actually a fairly pointless scene that I wrote. You didn't eat your mint. I gave you a mint. Why didn't you eat your mint? That's how you get ants. Do you want ants? That's how you get ants. We're getting ants. I need to go clean that up. I left the mint on his computer. I hope that looked good in the camera. Okay, where was I? Oh yeah. Yeah, there are no good ideas being discussed in the scene. The scene I wrote here is completely fucking pointless, but at least they're discussing this lack of point. They're discussing the pointless conversation with slightly better, more well-written dialogue, you know? They're bouncing off of each other a little bit more. They're not saying anything overly pretentious. They are alluding a little bit more, but I was trying to write it in a way that wasn't overly expository, you know? I didn't specifically want them to say, well, while I was attacking soldiers because of this and this and this, you did not do this and this and this. I wanted it to be more like they were dropping enough information to help try clue the audience in as to why they're in this situation, but not so much exposition that it becomes expository. That it's more like you're there with the characters. I try to write that as much as possible. You'll find that in Untypical, which might make Untypical a little bit tricky to follow, I know, but I've always tried to write in a way that, and in some cases it's more so than the other, but I've always tried to write in a way where the characters don't exposit shit at all, as if I can help it. And you've kind of just got to deal with it and let the information arrive as it comes. I've got better at it over time. Ooh. Boom, 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 boom. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? 2 people left. You 2 people, you suck. You left. You left the movie.
She's asleep.
What if she wakes up? I am analysing a script I wrote 6 years ago.
Well, why did you do that?
Because I thought it would be really, really funny podcast content.
Ah.
As you can imagine, a script I wrote 6 years ago was quite bad. I mean, like, there are some interesting ideas being put in, but there's a lot of interesting ideas, and none of them are given enough time to be fully discussed. And there are sections which kind of feel like I wrote them using Baby's First Guide to Politics. And I probably shouldn't have just started with a, I probably shouldn't have started with an action-focused project. Okay, where were we? Scene 2, the spire. The executioner is walking away from the spire, past the soldiers toward the far end of the canyon. On that side is a large base that is devoid of life. He stops and looks up at it, then walks inside. There are broken warthogs and weapons and vehicles all across the floor. There are scorch marks on the insides of the walls. He looks at all of these and then walks to something lying in the ground. Hang on, back to the Batman voice. What do we have here? Is that edgy enough? He crouches down and picks it up. It emits a voice. It's ghosts. Journal entry 08-30-32. Ugh. Spartan Ghost of Magenta Team. We've been sent here under the command of Ark to take down a spire. Our ships were... The voice cuts out. I'll be keeping... We're listening to a vlog now.
What are you doing here?
I'm showing them your vlog.
What? No, all of 1 second.
What a great vlog! That's such good content. How do you make such good content?
Fuck off.
That's rude.
Doesn't help that this camera's autofocus is a bit fucked up.
Why are you sticking your... Oh.
Transition from one camera to the other.
Yeah.
So the focus is there, not there. Actually helps if you learn to use the fucking camera first.
You've been a photographer for like 13 years.
Yeah, this is not photography.
Yeah, but you should know how to use a DSLR.
Should I get onto your shaking?
At
least I can hold the camera straight.
I'm not a cinematographer. I write pretty words. And if I fuck around with a camera, I fuck around with a storyboard or a thingy.
Yeah, I paid for you to... Do how much camera work?
1 term. You stick that back in its little red holder thingy. Yay, so essentially pretty much nothing happens in that scene. The executioner finds an audio log belonging to an old team member, and that's all. I'm going to just try to skip through certain segments of this, otherwise we're going to be here all night. Okay. Scene 3, the powerhouse. Jace and Ghost are walking toward the power station. Ghost is ahead of Jace. Okay. Ghost keeps walking ahead of Jace. Please slow down. He is exhausted, his movement slow. He no longer walks in a straight direction, zigzagging and looking downwards. Physical acting. Ghost turns to face Jace. He is now crouched down in front of her. He can't walk anymore. Hey, we need to keep moving. Jace, we moved all day yesterday, and all of last night, and all of this morning. I just need a break. Please, just little, small, tiny, teeny-weeny small break where I sit down, don't walk or move, exercise. Ghost, firmly. Jace? Jace stops. No, let me tell you something. You like to walk the talk with all your special training, special armor, and multiple enhancements, but you're just like me, except you're my sister. Why did I write this? So you know better than me. Do you hear me? I wrote here as in the location, as in H-E-R-E, not... I couldn't even spell properly. Okay, to be fair, my scripts these days aren't actually any better. When it comes to the grammar and spelling, I get shit talked by my voice actors all the time for how bad my spelling is. To the point where we had Dusty Cat reading I think it was the script of Tinderman. And he would, there we go. There's Wendy in the comment section. Who wrote this? He got so sick of the spelling mistakes that eventually he stopped and just had a minor breakdown. Who wrote this? It has become a calling card for when I make. Yeah, well, Chosen can suck a dick, Wendy. Yeah, you heard me. You in the comment section. Wendy, I see you. I hold your pay slip. I mean, I don't actually pay you, but I employ you and I can fire you. Yeah, I'm that petty. No, you weren't. Shut up. Where was I? We got distracted. Did you eat your mint? Oh, he's got headphones on. Okay. No, Chase. No, Ghost. I am not your little errand boy. Getting ordered around by my sister just because she has some fancy equipment. We were in a cave for a year together, and you never once knew I was there. Jace, what? We're here. She turns around, walking to the massive reservoir. I forgot about the year in the cave. We were going to do a whole flashback season about that, now that I recall. Okay, scene 4. On one of the hills overlooking a canyon, Audi stares down into it. The sound of his DMR zooming in is heard. The camera angle changes from facing him into the canyon. We see a convoy of UNSC vehicles making its way toward a camp by the beach. The convoy is made up of 2 warthogs and 10 soldiers. Each warthog has 3 soldiers in it. 2 soldiers walk behind it and 2 walk in front of it. The camera switches back to Audi as he begins walking along the ridgeline toward the convoy. His communication system clicks on. This is Audi. I've reached the base in the Vieri sector. You can't expect me to take out a target that size. Pause. Hatter's looking for me. I can't draw attention. Pause. Fine. I'll see what I can do. His comm clicks off and he sighs. Okay. If I was a massive military installation, where would my weak points be? Camera scans, and he sees a bunch of warthogs and scorpions coming out, jeeps and tanks. Well, let's get their attention. Scene 5, the spire. The executioner is standing on top of the spire, watching soldiers and tanks going about their business. King walks up behind him. Sir?
Have you found the rogue Spartans?
Yes, sir, but...
Are they dead?
No, sir. We have another problem.
The task assigned to us is to root out and finish the insurrection once and for all. Anything else isn't our problem.
Sir, one of the convoys was attacked in the Vieri sector.
How many?
We lost 9 Marines and...
How many attacked us?
1, sir.
What?
There was one...
One Spartan only?
There was only 1 survivor. His report says their attacker used multiple enhancements to take down the convoy.
So it wasn't one of our guys?
Yes, sir. It was Audi.
How do you know?
Because Hatter and his team ran into Ark and Sunset, and our scouts have tracked down Ghost and her brother. They'll all be dead in the hour. Foreshadowing. Super ominous. My throat's actually now sore from doing the weird Batman voice. I'm going to drop it now. It probably wasn't that funny anyway. Hold up, Ghost. Focus our resources on killing Ark and Sunset and finding Audi. Ghost and her brother will have to rest. They won't be a problem for now. Head down there yourself. And no, that's not funny. I'm not feeling it. I don't like it. Head down there yourself and make sure they don't leave, but do not engage. I'll switch up voices until I find one I like for the executioner. Yes, sir. And King, if you can't kill Ghost when the time comes, I'll do it for you. And then I'll kill you. Scene 6. Ark and Sunset at Boardwalk. Ark's doing the walkie thing, and Burn gunshot. Arg. Sunset. Execution of voiceover.
You were weak when we met, and you're weak now.
Back to Ark. Sunset, what's going on down there? Sunset. Sir, they found us. Ark sprints toward the stairs and looks down to the center, where Hatter and 2 other soldiers are aiming their guns at him.
Checkmate, old friend.
And that's the end of episode 2. Slightly shorter episode than episode 1, which I'm sure we are all very, very grateful for. It was kind of a... Yeah, I think that kind of falls into the trap that most second episodes do. The first episode is there to set up. Your first episode when you start a series is there to set up a lot of your plot points and so on. Your episode 2 tends to be kind of... I always find that episode 2 feels a bit meandering. It's... The plot point has now been set in motion, but not all the characters have entirely realized it yet. Like, the bad guys have started setting shit in motion, but the good guys are still recovering from the inciting incident in the pilot, or in the first episode. I kind of figure that sort of really fits into... this very much fell into that trap, you know? I just got bapped in a private message. It was on the nose. It's because Wendy's mean to me. I will send a response. It said, rude, in all capital letters, with the U replaced by 2 zeros. I am that serious about this. This is war. I'm not gonna read the response I got. This is a safe for work podcast. Okay, it actually wasn't that bad. I'm still not gonna read the response though. Mostly I said that just to see what her response in the comment section would be. I'm not a coward. Fuck you. That's for Wendy. You know, it is actually kind of a shame that I still, if YouTube was to make one change, if I could get one change out of YouTube, it would be if they could let the live chat comments stay after the live video feed is ended. Like at the very least, like if they could have timestamps on them. As to where in the video the comments were made, then you could have a nice busy comment section in your live stream videos, and your live stream will have a lot more context to what it says, because I know some people in other podcasts, and we do it all the time, where we interact a lot with our audiences. We interact a fuckload with you guys in the comment sections, but it's really, really weird because we can't just react to what you say. We've then got to react to have a natural reaction to what you say, then explain for the video what you just said for future viewers, and then do another reaction. It's very awkward, but if we don't do that, it doesn't make any sense for anyone who rewatches old videos. Yeah, I know Twitch does it, but we aren't on Twitch or on YouTube. This is also very weird looking from. See myself over there. I see myself over there. My head's going in all weird directions. I see myself from so many angles now. It's very trippy. Oh, can we set up OBS to record the chat? Oh, I mean, I can't because... No, I can't run OBS off my phone. I mean, I could, but it's like payment shit. Can I run OBS off my phone? I'm not sure. Because my computer doesn't have a microphone. Yeah, my computer doesn't have a microphone. That's why whenever there's that's why you don't have Vermont. Ever since we did the, there's only been one time where I've hosted the podcast and we've had other people on there, because it was the one time I could get a mic to connect to my computer. Well, the normal podcast Skyball can though, so I'll speak to him, and unless he's listening to this, Though I haven't seen Skybot making any weird comments on here lately, so we'll see if that's. But if he's not watching this at the moment, I'll go and I'll poke him about it, because that would be really, really nice to see. We should have the comments here, because the comments are half of the fun. You guys have a hell of a lot of personality. You're basically characters in the podcast yourselves, which is, you know, I mean, half of you are podcast. But you know, a lot of you are people who watch the podcast anyway. So you're basically just podcast members chatting in the live stream. And no, Wendy, context is not king. The character in the story is king. We did 2 episodes explaining this shit. You clearly haven't been paying attention. And as punishment, I will send a picture of a peanut. That's not a lewd joke, that is literally, I'm typing in the word peanut. I am going to, there we go, I'm finding my favorite picture of a peanut, and I have a favorite picture of a peanut because I do this more regularly than is probably, than an adult should. I once spammed a friend, well, a WhatsApp chat group with exactly 100 pictures of the same peanut, of this peanut actually. Because I am an adult and I can do what I want. And if you look over there, you'll see the peanut. If you look over there, you will also see the peanut. And you'll also see a little bit of the chat. Alright, it's a perfectly safe for work chat. I've sent a peanut. Alright. Where was I? Alright. Episode 3, A Desperate Plan. A desperate episode title, am I right? Okay, Pretoria. Yeah. I think we're done for the day, Spartan. Oh, but we've barely scratched the surface. We've done enough. Guards. Guards walk in. Ma'am. Take the Spartan to his cell. Yes, ma'am. Okay, she leaves the camera. The camera shows Chicky Poo leaving, and she walks up the platforms around the tower. In the background, we see Ark being led to his cell. The camera follows her until she reaches the Falcon pad. A soldier's there. And he walks over to her. General. The General. This base is the property of the UNSC. You were asked to interrogate a prisoner, not take over. No. Stop sending me pictures. No. Stop it right now. That is too adorable. And it is way too wholesome. It's too wholesome and adorable. Shut up. I'm wholesome. It's Vermont. It's Vermont on Vermont. Okay. I have a plushie of myself. Okay, where was I? I lost my place. Pretoria, there we go, yeah. I need more time to get the information I want. And I need more resources to draw the Spartan's allies out of hiding once he tells us where they are. And you think you can force him to divulge this information? The hell was that? Was that dude from South Park? No. Come with me, General. We'll discuss our new arrangement in private. So, I mean, at the end of the day, that's kind of... So So as an episode opener, at the very least, there's plot things happening, and it's not just general foreshadowing. It's nice to see it's nice to see the quality of my writing in these episodes getting better and better and better as I wrote them. I'll put Mini Vermont over there for now. He'll probably come out again soon. I'm getting tired. I think this will be the last script we do for tonight. Maybe I'll do another Vermont sneaky cast, or maybe I'll pop these scripts out during the next Break Room podcast and we'll discuss it. But in the meantime, I do think we're going to have to call that a day, so... Farewell, ladies and gentlemen. My name has been James Vermont, and I will wish you a good night. Look at my butt. Do you behold my butt? This is my butt. This is my butt.